The best putters in the world get four things right when they make putts: a perfect setup, a perfect stroke, a perfect speed, and a perfect direction. Seymour's patented and proven rifle scope technology putting system helps golfers improve all four areas. Here's how. First, get in a comfortable posture. Square the face to the target line using the putter's alignment line. Then hide the red dot. Doing these three things will set you up in an optimal stance, square to the putter, square to the target line, and with your head, shoulders, hips, and hands in alignment. Now you're locked onto the target, like radar, free to putt with confidence the same way every time. Take your game to the next level by becoming a great putter with a Seymour.
Okay, Jacob, here's your wedge lesson today. So what we talked about was trying to find a special distance for you, at least with your backswing. So we talked about 9 o'clock. However, you went almost maybe to 11. I would say that's more of like your full swing there. However, whatever you perceive as the same swing, whether it's there, find a distance that you're comfortable with. I would like you really like about there maybe. That's probably more like 9 o'clock there, right? Maybe 9:30. And you're going to go all the way through to 1 o'clock. You're going to find out what distances are. We kind of mapped out your wedges through that whole session. So you had, I believe, like 120 with the 52 or the 54, and then 100 with the 56, and every hour on your clock dial that you go back is going to give you 10 more yards or 10 less yards. And so basically you can kind of minimize your practicing, where you can practice one swing right there and get real good at it, and that's the distance that you lay up to on par 5s. That's the distance that you punch out to if you're in the woods. So you make a bad mistake, you can punch it out to 100 yards or 120 yards, use your 54 degrees and knock it to 3 feet. Make a birdie from it when you're from the trees. Or driver, 5-iron or 3-wood down to like 30 yards, 40 yards, and you'd be like right about there. But sometimes it's not always good to play closest to the green. If you're really good at 75 yards, you can lay back a little bit, and just pick one of those distances out of all the numbers that we used, and just wear the wedge out, getting really good at one distance. And then when you're at different distances by mistake, you know that you can use the clock dial method. So what I showed here on the right is I have the picture of Tiger. It's in 2000, and he holes out, I think it's the 16th hole at Pebble Beach. He comes from behind and wins. But this is exactly, I'll just play it. It's the second shot on a par 4. See how compact it was and very short, and he didn't spin it. It hit the ball right there and moved left off the corner, so it stopped right where he wanted to hit it, and it just rolled left. Alright, so back, and that's pretty much 9 o'clock. And then as he goes down through, he kind of holds the finish. Okay, so the only thing criticism I would kind of help you here with is you don't want to turn those hands over. You kind of turn them over right there, broke them. Right? Try to keep that right hand underneath the left. See that? He's not really flipping his hands over. Alright, but great work that day. You hit a lot of good shots really close, and that's the key to being the next best player on the team.
Rory Rory McIlroy is only 5'9", 161 pounds. But in the U.S. Open, he bombed his drives an average of over 310 yards. Our question is, how does a golfer Rory's size get so much length off the tee? The key to generating distance is what's called the kinetic chain, drawing energy from the ground up through the legs, through the torso, into the arms, and into the club. And in the middle of that kinetic chain is a critical link, the hips. And it's Rory's extraordinary hip action that caught the eye of Dr. Greg Rose. At the Titleist Performance Institute, Dr. Rose has worked with many of the world's best golfers, including Rory, using technology to analyze aspects of the golf swing that are difficult to see with the naked eye.
Rory's got that beautiful tempo, but as he comes through impact, all of a sudden something very different happens, which makes a lot of us sports science guys look at this and go, wow, what's going on there? If we look at hip speed, most amateurs are around 300 to 350 degrees per second. That's how fast they're rotating. Most tour players are around 550 degrees. Rory gets to this amazing 720 degrees per second on the downswing.
What's truly remarkable about Rory's hip acceleration is that it has another gear, reverse.
So if I'm looking at anatomy, you got to understand your abdominals, they run diagonally. Those are called your oblique abdominals. They start on your rib cage and they run down to your pelvis. So imagine it's like a rubber band attached to either side, and as that rubber band is contracting, it's going to grab both sides and pull them closer together. So in Rory's case, those abdominals fire so hard, it actually takes his lower body and it actually spins it in the opposite direction. Right there, it's actually moving 377 degrees per second the opposite direction, which is just crazy.
In other words, for a split second, Rory's hips actually move backward faster than most golfers ever move their hips forward. This reverse rotation is extremely rare. Out of the hundreds of pros he's analyzed, Dr. Rose has only seen it a handful of times. And while it isn't the key to Rory's length, it's an amazing indicator of the intense torque Rory uses to generate ball speeds of over 175 miles per hour, among the fastest in the world. Of course, Rory McIlroy didn't win the U.S. Open just by being long off the tee. His ball striking helped him set the Open record, hitting an amazing 62 out of 72 greens in regulation. For ESPN Sports Science, I'm John Brinkus.